Hey, you're watching TRA Weather, and this is Weather Forecaster Liam. Here's what we got going on in this video. Yes, we did. We had the first hurricane of the season this year. Gonna have a lot more on that in just a second. Also, I'm gonna take a look at the temperature outlook and the next chance for some severe weather. And I'm also gonna have the weather forecast for the 4th of July. All of it's coming up on TRA Weather. Okay, let's get started with that hurricane. Yep, we had the first hurricane of the 2019 hurricane season just a few days ago. And if you saw my previous video, you would remember me talking about Invest 93E. Well, that exceeded expectations and turned into the first hurricane of the season, named Alvin. Thankfully, it only got to Category 1, and a very weak Category 1 too. It didn't make landfall anywhere, and the hurricane was very short-lived, as it moved quickly into much colder waters. However, in almost the exact same spot Alvin formed, here's a look at it, we currently have Tropical Storm Barbara, with winds of over 65 miles an hour, almost a hurricane but not yet. Winds of 74 miles an hour would indicate hurricane strength. And as I go to the forecast intensity, you see some models have Barbara becoming a major Category 4 hurricane. And why some models do have Barbara as a Category 4 is because it's taken a more southern track than Alvin did, possibly staying in that warmer water. Now, Barbara does not look like it'll make landfall nor affect Mexico or the U.S. mainland. However, as you see on the left part of your screen, this model does have it going towards Hawaii, about 168 hours out, which is a very long time in terms of weather forecasting. And the models thankfully have this only at a tropical storm 168 hours out. But we do have to keep a very sharp eye on this, because if Barbara goes slightly more south, it will be moving into slightly warmer waters, which could keep this at hurricane strength. But if it moves more north, it may not even be at tropical storm strength by the time it will get to Hawaii. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye on Barbara. And if I have any updates or breaking news, I'll post an update video on Barbara and also an update on my Twitter page at TRA Weather. Okay, here's the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Let's start out in the west. We have above average temperatures in places such as Washington State, Oregon, Northern California, northwestern Nevada, and western Idaho. As we move a little bit to the east, we have below average temperatures in places such as Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, western Kansas, western Nebraska, and western South and North Dakota. And as we go to the south, Midwest, Southeast, and Northeast, you all are almost all above average, especially in the Southeast. You guys are definitely feeling the heat. In places such as Florida, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, southern and central Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and southeastern Virginia. And as I go to the 8 to 14 day temperature probability outlook, this is mainly looking like the same picture you just saw, except the southeast is a little cooler, not by much at all though. And the Midwest and Northeast are slightly cooler as well. So this picture right here will be your temperature outlook for this week, and this picture right here will be your temperature outlook on week 2. Okay, and here's the future radar for the next 2 days. And as always, the time will be in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Right now it is 12 p.m. Monday. And besides a few cells in eastern Texas, some rain in Minnesota and South Dakota, there's really not much going on in the United States right now. But that does change as I go to Monday afternoon into the evening hours. We have some storms get a little more intense across Minnesota and South Dakota. Also, maybe a few other cells that pop up across Wisconsin and northern Michigan. And those cells in eastern Texas may move their way northeastward into Arkansas and southeastern Oklahoma. We also have some scattered pop-up thunderstorms across northern New Mexico, eastern Colorado, eastern Wyoming, and some parts of central and eastern Montana. As we go to midnight Monday, we have some storms still across southern Minnesota, Wisconsin, now making their way in northwestern Iowa, starting to exit South Dakota, making their way toward northeastern and eastern Nebraska. We also may have a few storms across Michigan and Indiana. And it's saying those pop-up thunderstorms that were in northern New Mexico and eastern Colorado, trying to get a squall line going. I don't really think that'll happen. I do honestly think the storms will still be around, but I don't think a squall line will develop. And as we go to Tuesday morning, those storms totally dissipate that were across western Kansas and western Oklahoma and northern Texas. They are totally gone. And the only rain we really have is northern Maine, a few cells across New York, Michigan, Wisconsin, and not really much rain at all in Minnesota. As we go forward to Tuesday afternoon, it's really looking actually pretty nice outside across the entire United States. Looks like we have a cell or two across Arkansas, maybe one trying to get going in Oklahoma, and again, some cells across New York. Besides that, Tuesday afternoon is looking really nice across the entire United States. Let's go to Tuesday evening. Well, that changes quite quickly. We have a lot of rain across the Midwest, Northeast, some parts of the Ohio Valley, and it looks like we get some thunderstorms going, maybe even a squall line across Oklahoma, Kansas, and across eastern Texas. And also more pop-up thunderstorms across eastern New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, and western Montana. So Tuesday afternoon, early afternoon, is very nice. And then the bottom falls out and we get rain and pop-up thunderstorms pretty much everywhere, except parts of the very north central, some parts of the west and southeast. You're about the only places that are going to get spared at this current time. Let's go to Tuesday at around midnight. All those storms across Kentucky, Tennessee, southeastern Missouri, Arkansas, they about dissipate. But we still have some storms across the Midwest, places such as Ohio, western Pennsylvania, southern Michigan, northern Indiana, and northern Illinois. In those storms that were in Oklahoma and Texas, a squall line tried to develop. It looks like by about midnight, that squall line is about gone, and there's only one or two storms left across Oklahoma. As we go to the north central, we do have some pop-up thunderstorms across Nebraska and South Dakota. And man, Montana, you are still getting those thunderstorms. By Tuesday, it'll be about a week straight of these pop-up thunderstorms about every day. You guys have just been getting hammered. Let's go forward one more time really quick to the middle of the night Tuesday. And it's showing about the same picture, except in the Midwest and Ohio Valley, those storms start to dissipate, as well as the storms in South Dakota and Nebraska. But in Montana, it looks like those storms get fired up a little more. So that is not good news for Montana. But it seems like Monday night we are going to have some severe weather, and also Tuesday night as well. Make sure your NOAA weather radio is on, and if you do not have a NOAA weather radio, make sure your phone alerts, all hazards, are on. But hey, we are not done yet. I told you at the very beginning of this video I'd have a forecast for the 4th of July. Well, here it is. And I will have another video that will come out about a day or two with the full 4th of July forecast. That will have a better forecast model. But for now, we have the extended GFS model. This is 4th of July morning, early Thursday morning. And it seems we have some rain across the central and north central parts of the United States, such as the Dakotas, Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas. As we go one click forward to Thursday afternoon, 4th of July afternoon at around 1 p.m. That rain makes its way eastward into parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. And now these extended models tend to throw rain pretty much everywhere. And now I'm not saying all these areas are going to get rain, but you have to look at the more intense parts, mainly across Missouri, Minnesota, eastern Kansas, some parts of western Virginia and western North Carolina where they are heavier. Those areas you have to watch. And I looked at the few model runs before that. Those areas such as North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, you guys have had rain in the forecast for the past few days with this forecast model. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. Let's go to 4th of July night. Seems we have a lot of rain across the Carolinas, as I just said. Virginia, Kentucky, some parts of Tennessee, and also some more rain across Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, western Missouri, northern Arkansas. Pretty much rain all across the eastern half of the United States. So this model is an extended outlook version. So in about a day or two, I'll be able to have the NAM model that will go out this far, and I'll have a much more detailed and better 4th of July forecast. But right now, this is the current forecast for 4th of July night. Okay, and here's the last part of this video with TRA weather predictions, Torcons, and about the storm. The areas shaded in green are under a low risk, and the areas shaded in yellow are under a medium risk. We have a medium risk for eastern Montana, southwestern North Dakota, almost the entire state of South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota, western Nebraska, very eastern Colorado, and very northwestern Kansas. As we go to the Monday TRA weather Torcons, We have a 2 across very eastern Colorado, very northern Texas, western Oklahoma, western Kansas, and southern Nebraska. And we have a 3 across the rest of the area shaded in red. As we go to our TRA weather predictions for Tuesday, we have a wider range of severe weather, but it'll be more scattered. And we have a medium risk for eastern Texas, in central and eastern Oklahoma. We have another medium risk for northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, and eastern and northern Iowa. And okay, here's about the storm. Tornadoes will be low, hail will be medium, flooding will be low, wind will be medium, lightning will be medium as well, power outage will be low, wind shear will be medium, and CAPE will be low. I looked over the wind shear and the CAPE, and surprisingly there was not a lot of CAPE at all with this event, which will probably hold back some of those very severe thunderstorms. And for the info on this storm, this info is for Monday. The highest threat is hail, and the lowest threat is power outage. If I have any additional information on the severe storm event, I will post it on my Twitter page at TRA Weather. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you haven't already, like and share this, and subscribe to my channel by hitting my logo in the center. And if you haven't seen it yet, my trailer's on the left, and my previous video is on the right. Thank you. See you next time.